That's what and you're trying to me. I'm a son of faith. I know my. Who trying to grow up? What to be so now? I'm not fun. And yes, I'm in Chelm. Emre Manafa. What sort of way your mind to a oh, my son. One to me, and one ya can. If you ever see a dear no cry when it does, so say, trying to swap.
Okay, but I'm very curious.
I pass a fire for so. Papa, because we can be make a treat to make more kakra. Ni pa ubra was also some kakra. And two of us some no corner relaxing body no. Now can she be a sea woman is no. And then you know many so am night. Hey! Kobna we say our who say accident in a sea keke. Can I turn a kwaha? So rather at once medodoy. Rather than any pacoba. So koba ya. I don't be keke. Na me sure say Oma woman dear. Yamina a crowd woman. The Bocrat on the Aya Crado. Ya day ever. Telegraphic, the Bocrat on the Mampania relax restrictions. I would want to say a shumno 2 hours. Ya diama a crystal 4. Drinking sports, Namnia dear show, open space one. Ya be why be our pawn up as I relax a quite na Labadi Beach, Namnia dear sana. Uti me ko no akwa kwetena ho eho ene yakwe na confusion aseti in minim se musumo muhu ya worship no mampani se asore ma no ya increase na still 100 na hours afi eno confusion kwa because the number no ya 100 beach nka ho enye beach na make ba asore no asore numbers ebi mo say ya increase numbers any hours hours na akotu by nipa ne de yes 100
but ensure Debbie
100 oh any on say my cry confused any party there 100 but or kire say hours no and bia say obi are confused even I know our join news okura no oh I know so kan so still o tie brofo ye da ha ye ntia won sam so eno no na ayi yenko ensam ha ye sha ase anopai ede ebrewo no 19-year-old woman na kwabrane atimi abro no won mama me ato na nan mo se do no eno so ewo ha homicide team no IGP to maguru so mo nko wo mo ho bonsam ni mu nyina no yenyi wo mo mpiepe 13 nsam no wo ho ene ye hwa ni mu se running mate ema kanema mpani ana NDC flag bearer Jena no foku ajima professor ye be yi no actually officially ho asem the Bokrata Telegraphic ediaba
enti de afia bobo so na no ana Ghanaian Times and so de nam nemom de ya sronko wo mu e wa ha ne so tema port rigs in 553.6 million but Mrs June revenue enti na chese COVID-19 obi adwuma sika mfa so a wo hwehwe no bebre no de eni amwawom tema port so ka ho na ekire hanom se no nyame ya adomo a Commander Sugar Factory no ebetumi agina ne naso free say Agrotech to invest $21 million into Commander Sugar Factory no so monsam wo ahanom say enti Commander nyame ya adomo a Sugar Factory no ebe enuonyam betumi asan ba mu bio nti we the Ghanaian Times
okay so it be say some would have to jana unfortunately na fa ni nyina amram ye kona ya ko gina ye ko from mantem na se ko achim
ye ko from
mantem na ya ko jona na de kase bona bo ye ko aba
Paris mama me mamu nyina ache me wa kwa aba do Badwam TV Badwam kase so ene to no pensam asie na braso some de browse Badwam TV kase ano pensam no ne obati ebini me kase ya to posifo agum wo mu nkokro no a enipa hye abrewa eme na abrewa to na nanom nsie do ye bebo awram Northern Region Police Commander so ede ne ho agimu bi wo bibia wo no smart an hye wo no ene emra no wo bema no adu ye bekọ pampa so ningo na nanom ne omanfo nso ene won mo so de nsan gufom Langat tata won we ni sembi ena no pay me de bro Badwam TV Badwam kase Facebook/Badwam TV ho na wo so comment o de agu afa yenya bre na yentie sade ensam no enchemu ankasa etie ye ko Savannah region na ho na se say ya make say bambom panifo wo mo ayiri mo den ehwehwe enipa domo a wamutimi ebo abrewa wanya mfihie aduokono se woye baifo entina ne wo se ye bro no ama ene ya make say mami atoa nananom ansiedo
Exodus of people in and out of the region.
The woman is the principal suspect for now.
So where's her
we
now?
all saw her in the video. Our information that the woman comes from Yeji and had gone back to Yeji and now at large. So the Inspector General of Police have placed 20,000 cedis as a reward to anyone who will give the police credible information leading to the arrest of the woman who is called Filina. We have invited the chief and the assemblyman, who are opinion leaders in the community, to come to us for interrogation, which will help us to move forward.
Anyway, Savannah, Posi Penia Wadano, DCOP no Kaduchum, the Diakon, and I Yateno, and Kano Yako Northern Region. Now, Police Commander Woho Timothy Yosa Bunga, and they want to saw a Yena Juma den they make us say, what say a woman so. Emrantian and Shaw will be beer, will peer free in fear, Babontia, no smacks and Shanono, Emrano, and in
Exodus of people in and out of the region. So sometimes some of the numbers may not be necessarily the local one within the region. That is, within the country, we also have the intra. So sometimes people move up and down to Kumasi, to Accra. That is where we carry the foodstuffs to go and sell. And then also our people also buy the items that we don't have in our part of the country to sell.
I can't give you the number, but we have arrested people. We have people for not wearing nose masks. A bit of a challenge. I think the education is more important. Let the people understand. Yes, sir. And then it is easy for all of us to wear the nose mask. If you enforce and they do not understand why they wear the nose mask, you always have that challenge. But when they understand, everybody will appreciate that there is the need to wear the nose mask. But if they don't understand and you are just using force, you will continue to use the force and you will not succeed. But it is good we educate them to appreciate the need for the nose mask.
Yeah, to akaseno so na ya kwansamfo from ya kwa pampaso ningo ewo eastern region na nananom ene omanfo ye wo ho no mo de nsan gu fom se nananom mra emeje wo mo officer estate developer bi abeje won sase ya nananom ne omanfo wo kro no mo ebonyo so wo bokokan ya se wo de langat ene etata wo mo enunti ena nananom so wo makogu nsan frɛ nananom asase se wo mra na wo meko emfama ho.
Ko atanya cha yobu eni cha no wanganye cha no wa hedo nye dajina no wa ka sipu anya nye ba he ko na nya nu na nya pia wa he zuba e pia ka wa ne ma ano na ba he ka 1911 ne wa ne ba bo aden yo ni na pia he ne wa so e pia peta wa bu ni ta hunga zuba he wa ne meli ka nye ba he zuba loko jimu na ba ka akecha pinye no na ka won ta hunga nye gbe na gbo enu menye pata wa he wa jevu na nyuda wa bla ka ne bo ala ko na fita ne pia yo ko na nga wo na ma susu wa he yo ne ma ba zuba no nye ka na yo.
Nana ya wo gomo afata ben kaso won finfin mantamo nana abo ata wotoso mienu ediko sana ema NDC ne MPP atitafo ya registration yi mu to otutu okoso menteme ho ase no ne ade nana kyeremu aba bi o my Ghana ye duro no democracy ya bini mu pa nti se niema bi sei sisi e wodi ntweremu ana abato mu bua na de animguase na eba nti wo mo hye na wo munyan sa de ne dindin bone nso e na ebrewo.
Man crop me at the walk in fact on swing a best say come if a baby na di bu bipe another obi a bipe sebi ye Ghana fo ye nuanom ye busua nti meji de mestre de ho a wodi damodjuman wonjai na obi a nhwe de ma ban wa kana de ye didu a meji de ode asumdwe beba do obi wa koso online no obi we twa another bibi otide dem nti mpinfu na we tumo na de won hwen o de wo hwe na bibia no ofa na akwim
enko na otimantamo sofo nana kwasi owusu ye boa da nani agye woni trim papa fisa ne manfo COVID-19 na mu protocols ahodo nyina no wo mu di so papa e wo din a ye twetwe sese wo se ahyase no na ye bibie wo ho na sese wo manfo atiase ya wo di so enhyehyɛ
eno kyerɛ nneɛma na ɛkɔ so eno so ma ni nyina yi sɛ new voters register than the because I heard music. If you have a old voter registration card, we can say Hassan, headline, our home, so anything I'm a couple of people who say, look at the anti that or I say, copy family, when it's so say. We now the model to Jack. One society wants to be said, we are a report on the electoral commission. One day,
Nani Zongo youth here, Wamo Western North region, so I shall boss and Yami Duma bottle a dear anymore. Bibi Bonne, I talk was why yet TSA be a Zongo phone or who a shemoro. Ne womo edin sema kantam se womo nya bibi etesa bibi bekoso kro na wonte se bia obabunu bia wono free zongo na ka ho Augustin Boa ene ne youth no okandini edin komoi
action say ya na ntoka besi bibi besi a obekọ na zongo fo na edoso ho nti ama no ye din hyedan ye de e omanfo ani but afu we de em se be 2 years di eba ya sha se ya yetu anamo ye wura zongo eni masalachi kasa kire ho me for instance me preach e radio so nti mpepe me ko radio so a ya me mazongo fo no ti ase anan krem fo no ti ase ye say there is no any religion on this earth e kasa fa peaceful e get en krem so ya som ena yankopo aka kire ye say even obi a onye kremoni kura bo suma danase embo sa nipa ni bi nti ya som ena ya som a e kasa fa peace ho nti afu ye de ato ye ho so say ye benanti zongo eni masalachi mpo yinianom a wo mu zongo na BBC a sentoko be ne besio tutura semu obeduru ho no na obeti din a gise Muhammadu gise Salifu won tante kwa me ni kojo ho na kire say efie nti egusu a ye ne wo mo kasa bete hye wo say enyame ne pa saa de na mire be etwa mu na e wo ho no saa di say election ya to ya ho so say ye be bo ho ban na ye ne youth no so akasa na saa ade na
afi yemrefie na enkoma odoa enu anadwo dasuom omampani ede tudwa ende ohwese dete a watimi abie kwan ede ama ankrankra bi se omuso djuma omudie no ombetimi akoso na no enende dia eba ne se football no so no ema na fam wo kire se ombetimi ase training ase de nene nanso omuhwe ni ye se ade se covid no ewon hihye ni nyina omonso ebetimi edi so enu a Sergio Manucho ekeka no masiani a yentie se de ho nkomo etie
GF ko no ihwe ni mu se national teams miensa na hotwe fofora yebesim no ememo ane mabaye be hyase abo omo ho adwa na afi o makansi ahodo edi omo ni mu no omo aboabo omo ho akogina mu ememo omo ni mu mfinhia dunson metere Black Starlet afi mayaya omo ni mu mfinhia dunson Black Maidens na afi omo ni mu mfinhia dunu no Black Princesses wenum ne kuo miensa ye hwe ni mu se August bosumi a yebesim ni na hotwe dikan mabaye ne mememo ebebo omo ho adwa na ho sese no ahyase na wohwe Black Maidens for na omo hyase sese omo de 2021 World Cup akensi a eda omonim no ne santi October bosumi a yebesim no akensi kese bi wo ho enu nti omu hia bre de atrentre omapom ne sa akensi kese eduru so a omaginem ate omai Ghana nim na wodi wani kire Black Princesses for no so akache a omo World Cup eda omonim afi 2021 no qualification ne hyase September bosumi nim eno ne nam so a omo hwe nimu se ebie kwan to wo so omo nsesi omo ho a akensi kese omo ne gini bisa wo yade be ntam so no omo pagya oman franka no akonkonkon na de twa to no Black Starlet for no Africa Zonal Championship bi betudwa 2021 mu ne sanse omo atena fie akere nti eno ne nam so ampanifo aye nhyehyeye se August bosumi eda nimu ni na wotwe dikan no omo so beka omo nuanom ho a omo de omo ni be kire Cape Coast no makwahye esesi omo.
Our female under-20 and under-17 national football teams have been given the clearance to go into their respective training camps to begin preparations towards their FIFA and CAF sanctioned international matches which begin in September. Whilst in training, The playing, technical, and management teams must observe strictly all the protocols issued by government, CAF, and FIFA against COVID-19. All other team and contact sports and competitive sporting events remain suspended till further notice.
Etiano eye ensemo a omampani enede we nyina etudwa enu anadwo dasuom ena ende seju manucho enso akruche ne kama ede adan ene anopai ma yanku yanim FIFA ene eye CAF sika omo se ebo memo na fe ya chese be ya Ghana football obi anso ho ebetimi an ha no na ochwetwe mo obehwe se da na ho nsem ato etese ewo memo na enya dia edafom kra eno nam so emende yenuanoma ewo kumase Insura FM4 obra bright kankamboadu etina konwem no etunsa edifre executive council member Orani din ede eye Frederick Echampon dodona efren Fredachi ema okotena Insura Power Sports so na ensemo a opani de kotudwa na chese wachire mu se yade se sika no ni chemu no yade se FM mpanifo no eyemfumso kakra ewo bra na omo echeska no Fredachi enchema wode tudwa ni
women's football FIFA discovered for women's football. Do you know, sir, women's premier, each club is getting $10,000. But the next level of women's football Ghana, women's division 1, but which is can be at $840. Look at the difference, the discrepancy between $840 to $10,000. Yeah. And so obi to say now to say or kabibia or deserve so can into all the clubs they deserve because obi be expectanka premier benye bianka 50,000 obi so benya 30,000 obi
on born original level over division 1
but I'm saying that is the next step yes and it auntie say onya 10,000 bi let's say they 2,000 and I say 1,500 but $840 compared to $10,000. You see the difference. So I'm saying, say, whatever the situation is, we may have to sit down and see what is possible. So no, so I don't care. Chase can be and reserve with the baby. Count say we can send days on one now. Cool. Now then the young chen can we move. But can actually balance is zero. Oh no, the good thing is that Sekani Yamahe. Sankana could individual one can beg the pass. Was now quite baby. And the good thing is Kanama. So we sit down and see the bit me.
I don't like some bit of some baby.
I'm saying so we sit down as a group and see what is possible.
Move to me, baby, sir.
We see what is possible.
Today say ya ene said yan komono esifa ekoye na yeto aso no wamananso a openino esan echiremu se GFA any Macron deal no enkomo akre wo hu ni
national association like the GFA known to CAF known to FIFA now then the people will be akotanchen so okono no akoye ni put that no the Macron akobo ho no akoye announce say they will sue obia Macron Italy will sue GFA they will sue companies who are involved no do you think it's easy thing they can wa do you think the Macron Italy will about me said there's a group of people who are Ghana omu use omu din akosane agreement with GFA no mo ko put that no the Macron akwa registered international company like that they will sue you right please they will sue now let me get to the difference
Macron Ghana much of Macron Ghana
maybe I'm say in communication they want to sell
I understand, but Macron Ghana doesn't
know you are a journalist. How many times now we can some from 9 o'clock or 12 maybe one from an RCBB, NC and
so you admit it was a mistake.
It could be. I mean, these things are, but maybe now the detail of it. I appreciate.
Okay.
So Ubejide narratives now, Akoso no what the American, and then understand from the perspective.
Engineer say ntokwa eba Macron ene eye FA no partnership na otwetwe mo omosan ye no eno pani no echiemu se sebi emfunso de ya na ewo bia ho tie bia na Macron Ghana na ewo ho anase Macron GH na ewo ho no ebia na emfunso ene bae yebedi achire na ehon komo bia nso emresem yede eno nso ede abro yebeto aso na enkomo aka nyina nso yede apeso de ama bada no pay se no se Jeffas mixture eye edro sonko ade bia da medi wada se ede ma wo yo ba na wase ene keka wo enka ene aba wase akona kope eye Jeffas mixture bi nanom eba be siesi opa ama na yinka ede ama afei ukomfichira na wonso no ode no eya wonko a ena eba ode ane se obepe drebi na watime anonom eye dro ba ko a esan abesiesie osisi na fe osisi na ye oya no ebema anwoden no etimi abapa nti wo bema na nso wapa bi etimi anom sexual weakness yade bone de bia meka wasem de kiro konako pedro bi na entimi embo na fe premature ejaculation brofo no na ede badanye yade a papa enti enye nto ho so konako pe fast mixture nanom na okwa nso watimi akọ kwansin bia opese utimi ekọ emanikoye edemao ebia na wodwonso a eyaw na wote ewomu ana se odwonso na chese obema mu ayo de demesro konako pe fast mixture bi nanom ebesiesiu ama onso watimi aye bema mu obowremo ewo pharmacy shop bia na drugstore bia mu a obenya fast for Andre bi ato ameno nso no etimi aboa pa telephone ma obefre no 0261 319 895 0261 319 895 nese onom AD and South so Jifas was a papa mayanku yanim ewo eye Youth Employment Agency nanwada omun koma odinde betudwa edema sports no nende ukoma alita wodo ehwenim se sika no ebi ebetimi abom botom amom so no omo ho etimi an ha wom no eno enende ye bowramo ewo Ghana Badminton Association Orua Evans Yeboa ena wochechie mu ekwan a omo hwenim se omo so de no omo betimi ache amaso obia so
fire listing bra ya submit list no tini ye train dia NSA ebe train na chese yetumi ato aso free ho ba ye wogidie se aban no ebetumi ebie mu mo in terms of quota and number no because obia ye grassroots obisu ye women's obisu ye mema obisu ye nkabom ebi mu ye seniors ebi mu ye veterans ebi mu ye national junior program ntino ye de nyina atoto ho a we ye first phase na ye ne omo ho nkitadie no there could be a possibility say ebi kra na we no koye through a na assign sukure bring more and you know me hope is in the medium to long term no athletes do know will be covered 25 disciplines are Olympic and non-Olympic sports no there 400 and para National Paralympic Committee MPC our share disability for no so almost there 100 and you know niaya say NSA National Sports Authority say submit a long list and you know after interview ne review ne processes no not just o mama ye quota and you do the amom wankasa aha nti ye hope say and then you chine ya number ma ye hu say na ye the amount na o mama justification towards do o mo kano but enya de be CD 400.
I don't know Sema Ora Evans Yeboa, President Edema Ghana Badminton Association, and I'll say Yanene Edin Komo and Anon, Common Bebrina and a Wetchy, Amia Duma, Emre Yet the Hong Komo, and so Ebebro. I don't pay what the Naciano Emma 1xbet.com. My catch was a betting company Cassia Memo, Ubetime Edon Atoso, and no 1xbet.com, and two cha, not what your son said, Unya Chankwadia. Ubedi amanakoye ediama unya sika bebrebe bia na watimi ahihye eye 1xbet.com esanse omo oso no esoso etudi ane se ubetwa amanakoye enso ediama sanso ena male kpokpa osekpaso we eye boafo hebafo asem ena meka de akire we me so kona kope bi boafo cream no eye cream so nko a ema no eyusu na enei ama omo wedie no atoso pa uhia ma no na wedie no eda so nome ya na waje atum sampa eye boafo cream na ena obia eyusu a anope me kan wasem ede akire no boafo ointment so eye adwuma ekonompemu tia na wahye ne so ede amame sebia onompemu ena ebuo ana se ebia wonan ena enhono ode kona kope boafo ointment bi na fasesa so na woche anase na woche mienu so obe sampa wonan no etimi agina so pa afi boafo kobites koko no sede tie bia adurei eba abitu ase mojampo ena etu a kona kope boafo kobites bi nanom ebesiesiu ama onso watime ade ho pharmacy shop drugstore anase bia eton abibidro bia no okowa obenya endomiensa mede atudwama no obenya bia to amana koye enso ede ama ana from 0244 276 367 0244 726 367 na wa from na no edi ensa so tie no mane biem 0244 726 367 ena onom edi ensauso afi jefas mixture dro sonko anopay medi ho adasie bebrebe na ede akyerewo entikona kope bi na no so entimi ensiesio enwei ene nwumakoi na ebo me ho doma na anopay mede agudie mu nsem ebedan wo Sergio Manocho ene producer ene wo hyehye no sonko ede maame ampedu director sanso na senior most osmosis wono ene hwe sound no maame ebi na anopay otwa camera na kama ede ema opr mu nyina so etachire kama yede nkomo no ebro ene eye juada onim se edu juada se dia esi etime esepe ho midin ede Cobblestone okumankra bakwa maka ensuroja adura enyon numero 1 emresem obesantemenka
Medafo memwache meda senso sano page medie bia wudi bia no wone Adom TV afisem bedwam echa womre na wudi bia hye enkomo ahodo a ye dwendwen ewo dwumedie so na ye de aprega na nkanko na wankasa nso de beboa no wafa wom ede abo obra na se kase ebi nkoma edikanfo beti se Cobblestone no de agudie mu nsem no abrel na afia makwata maklokin kan kase ebone ma sister Sandy be a guy so de ahosepe emu nsem ede abro de adru so ene se ye boawura ye fiefiem afisem na ya hwese efie tesen anope nkomo bia ye di wo ye fiefiem bi ene se na no ye maami ya wadi mfrihia ediokron maami dente etifi do mantamo se de ema bi se wo baifo nti wabirimu nu ama maami wawu by force because oye baifo eno be nkomo aye na agenda so ye no maami Cynthia Morris ne bedi ho nkomo afenso enu amampani ebowura ye fiefiem ne ye di nkomo se de fibra covid-19 ye ni ti wo memu no eye a wota ye no na yente ho ase papa fe no yetna se na frama fa yentam ne atoso na sese yetna se amosho na sa de yen ebo no gina ho ana no ye baako na ye kwa sorry nipa 100 na no mampani kan ye no sese yen ya ne yesa akọ ne akwa akodi donhre no mienu a wodi donhre baako aka ho ana se asori no ye dodo ane ye akane no ne ye kono no saa na yesa ba be kono yente ye ho ase nso papa eno so nchemu na ye bibie ho tourist site metre akwansra ho mi aye ahodo no ye be ko baabi ye bie baabi ato ho ye mie baabi nto ho emu fine no eno so de sen saa nkomo we nso eye owura akwaja opon nkroma ono so beboa ye no wabiebie mama ye we eye ye nkomo ayedi ewo bedwam afisam dwumade so anopa mi ne ma metra diamond me da se na mesra otwa me ba ne ni nkomo
Tataka mwani mtu. Bigo zikita. Asipenda mazo tunatafanya. Atape. Ya burie. Enfani dia bro burie wa so ni bene. Wata ba to. Je tata kama itaki. Ba to. Sheki. Molumu. Kibendo. Leo basa. Mina. Kagonyalfa. Kagonyalfa. Kachana ko kayo ka fukumu. Wani da ba ta ce kan fika cana ba fufune bi jeje. Amma je ta Hey, ban. Boko. Daga boko. Oh, não sei tá, nem alimentar. Nya mama no bayi bayi fo no mo mama ni ha oni ha oba metro oni ne ba manu kwanza
kana we ye wanim sam efiti na wotwe awie ye na no fiada na ebeda abonten bia na wunya nte ya ye bo amane na wo sanso hwe no wo wani so wo efisam so wo bedwam dwumade so Adom TV so enti mami birimu a ye birimu ni nyina che se obeifo na bayi a woyo no so ye nyante ye se wo mo ana ebo no no wa ma obi di a wo mawuo ana se wo bi ekwa brochire na wantumi anko ana se ebi asabi wo bi anye do ni pani fie so enso maami bayi enti woda so adwonso ana se ebi a wo bi aso aware wonya aware ye ni nyina so but they can say wo be ifo fi say abofra bi kogina na fitire na fe ade kyen no na abofra no eyare enti we ye yenkomo titiro a ye bomode ase ye ne gender ahye no na afei mpanifo bi nso bedi ehon nkomo ema binum wo manmu akasa de kyerese saa ne yo say the 21st century ye twam se Ghana fo binum koso akura gidiem na ye say ya na sabi ye nkurasefo na sabi Ghana fo nso ye ntete se Ghana ni moral lessons no na sabi ya mane kakra na ye ntumi nso hwe mensenti ye bedi we ho nkomo de ohu wani so yi na no fiada na sha ase beda abonten se ma me dente wo ye baakofo a ba bia wote wo saa mpotem ho no mo wo saa Gonja East ho no no kura wo frɛ ho se Kafaba Kafaba misrama moni ya na de acheme Kafaba saa mpotem ho no no nkoa na ti ho mobrofo se abrewanti wo ye mobrofo saa na ote ho no de wo baifo eno na wo huin na ye koso abisa ye ho se aso obi akwasori ya na wo pre enyinche obi akoni nkotodwanim na obọ mpa ya na opre nyinche erade tumi nkwana mo erade ma me kwatenti o na ye ba benya sa nkwatentin na afa ya ba bedane abaifo ene abayibo nsam a ene na ye nyi enu seyi a eno ne ye pa na eno so ya sembisa kese a ye bisa na ye se pani ni fie adue na so ebinum gidie mu no ekame aye se pani wo fie mu adue biso obi nyanyi na obedane pani a wo beye baifo e de haw de ye ne mfa baye hu a ya tete bie no bi ena o hye no na o de yenkwa ahoma ne so na ye ne soafo a wo hye ma ne mofra ye di ahobambo nsem so me kire onyanfo Cynthia Mamle Morrison, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection eni nkomo Mame Morrison pacho mache Nyame adom me ho ye pacho won so
Nyame na adom
yate said ya moso mate no ama mode eye krata kraba abonten se mo cassette no na ye hwe ne se yansa mame sese ya mame no de wanya wuwa hu na gender ministry mo nyante se bia wo fi mu no busuani bia ba because na ye tese wo ye baakofo bia ho na wakwa akobo ne ho adwa na mu no mpacho mate bibia fa ho
edase na pe mi che wo tifu nyina no ho na wo hwe TV do here mame nyame na adom a wo see wo ye postmortem wo we see na anape one can able to answer me in Chermy but my minimum the we see we release what kind of release my family my way seeing the family but why they be on our ben na day on our biological family we see
okay
yeah and pay so police action suffer on him all come on your assemblyman all come for interrogation.
Okay.
Sunday, Motibia, and in Patron Wishia. The crew or Sunda Akram for Motibia. So, Choco or so, Labadio, and him fan will see what Motibia, what to identify will be. And I pay word of interrogation, and I'm sure that they are brave of Connie, my okisi.
Pacho, yeah, that's it. Now, Mammy Morrison, a banner say a beer more fry and nam kwanchen ena wom wesesra de ena afei en emofra wo de wo ton wom no saa dwedie bi nsem no yete paase gender ministry mu bom ho modern wom na enkyerɛkyerɛ nso a bema obi ate ne ho asese emfa ho ne gidie a wo gidie ana wo som a wo mu no saa de obi gidie se obi ye baifo ntia ye maame ya yakayaka de ma wahwere ne nkwa no bacho gender asoye no mo nkyerɛkyerɛ fa no ho no so ewo ho ana bi ni ho krasa
Owohopa, Minia, Owohopa, me sure the journalist, Yako pro and Yanko. Nothing for Yama be brave. Apart from there, Yam Bran and Yaman, you move for community. Yako baby today, you decide that, and now Winnie Barna there, a front placer, and you stood on. Yanni, I will know one casa on child labor. Child trafficking, Mofamo Duan Consudo, Yako Eastern region, Brown Halfwa, Yutu, according to any baby, call when you want to cook you with Lebanon and the Miniaman. It could be a more peculiar problem or one no afutu. Not where Yakadama Bay, some year walk when you pay which company the Miniaman. Me who saw open a word in the bay when a bay now born in your body. The baby able to be a yetufu. In Canada, you wear radio, Oko baby our Ghana, but in Canada, a two radio be a station. so bono ko do won kana so nko furu wo ko tu won ba chin so obi na ne wo fie ko tu mu twese kan twetwa ne ye dan ye an ye ban papa am ene da obi e push ne ye atu jem di ne ke nya ne ye ko atu jem o san do so mi di ban ma na wa mi di ban foforo nti boni di o ye nipa na dwen so won so mi we on so Mr. One ni won education on kodo na Ghana ye bia papa hin na ye na ye boy on modern able to be afo
ya ti ase ma me na ye fa na se enchurchere no akoye se teacher ni kire akola de wo classroom se to de bi na wa ammo no kakra ana to de bi na ebi nso ha correction no wa ma na ntwero be 60 times ama ne book no ne ho anyira no na ne nsa no anya ne ya ebia na koba se teacher gina ho na de bia wo kire na de bia wo kire a se ebia no so asotwe bi ma ofise enkyerɛkyerɛ no de se de wo kan gender yenim se mo ye de mbetumi na emomo no mo sa wo enkyerɛkyerɛ no de bata ho sa asotwe se ebia na no obi bo obi beyie e ma nipa no kra na dwemu kan no ye hyeda twe na so se gender aso ye nti abo obi hu mesrɛ obi bi sa wo ho
oh nyo nko frequency si ona make sure de ohin no nya assembly man wa from we interrogation ohuna wo di da mo bono ni wo be kire won asotwe wo ho na sisi abia wedrun we fie ni se ma akọ interior nti meni interior minister akasa meni o kasa here staff ko so ho a okwohwe mo kodo ye be make sure the nyipan wo twe na so na dem asotwe di ba ma Ghana fo nyine hu de dem asotwe na I insist ma ambrano so we di no ye de wonye no court kona bra na we jem na mum ehen me ye be yanye de ye bo report odu court was a ofi mi sim but na ye de yen so be ma hene social warfare for okro no don we je chi tama me nye busuanyi po ehen ye ne busua
ya te wase
no fofo bebre wona do fra no bi
ya te wase afisa ye dan ya agenda ahye no mo so mo ba bia motumi ekopem se de wo kasa ye amugye mu ma court ne ade na omo so maye mo fam de na ye hwe ne se yo Ghana ha ye wei obia gibe yedi men kasa obia kra ni padodo no ana gibe yedi nanso ekamia yo se tifedo mantam de wo mo gibe yedi pa aso obia antre ne ho amo ne bra bia ene e wonyi nko a watumi aya brewa na akokora ne de wo baifo wo miaye a wode saafo no kogu mpacho gender ahye no betumi abunko nta kire kakra se which comes ahodo no yatumi agube ye 10 yatumi agube ye 5 mpacho bibisa ho oh pe de ne ho agim nanso ye bebo modin ase pe ma ye nkomo ye fensi he ya na yakoso ane ma memories na di nkomo ne yebisa no se which comes so ahodo no aya ye de wo mo ni afi kogu ho no ehon so ensem te say kame ayo say ye man mu hanum say de wo ya baba wa na say wo ya brante a baye no ni bi na emom nyame nya ma nkwatenten na sabi nkwatenten no say hia wo a because me say dem hu obi a na ni afi a wo ya abrewa na akokora bi a ne ho fe na wo ne sika ye bo ne baye na emom se hia wo de na wo baifo enti ye bo modin ase ye nsa beka ma me Cynthia bio na wo yi sansem bisa na no ama ye ne komo aye di wo afisem so ene se Mami ya wakafaba ewo certificate mantam ye nipa bi se wo baifo nti sabio ne yemo ma ne nananom etimi twe ne so aba polipoli ne tiri ho ebirimu no kosi se wo hwere ne nkwa eno ho komo na ye die no na de di kan ti ye dada na no fiada wadom prem to brekase mu no kyese maame no oye ba akofo bi a wono nko ana ba bia wote no wote na so gender minister amayate ase se wanya na ntie se maame no womo asie no ye bekoso adi nkomo no ne ahwese maame Morrison ye ba atan yi de wono anya honko hokra watimi atu nipa bi ama womo akohu se nipa asie no womo ya adofo bi ana se womo ya busua bi enti yemfa eno ensi ha na mesoro yenya maame Morrison bi no ho yene ora kwaja ponkroma eni nkomo na yen kosansem no so ora nkroma mpacho mache
mito nkano pay
medase na me mo akwaba na emomo no ho yahwefo ndi kan tie we nhwe we nso ansa na mesro yemra yen komo no so ntime sro gina so ma me kakra me ba
me pacho
medase
extensive consultations. Government has taken the decision to embark upon the implementation of phase 2 of the easing of restrictions in the following sectors of our national life. Our churches and mosques have been open for prayers and services for the past 7 weeks, adhering to 25% occupancy or up to 100 congregants over a time duration of up to 1 hour per service. I extend my deepest appreciation to our religious leaders for their strict adherence to the safety protocols, which have prevented any known outbreaks since they restarted their services. I've sorely missed going to church, as I'm sure many others have. I'm therefore very happy to announce that in consultation with our church leaders, from 1st August 2020, the restrictions on the number of congregants worshipping at a time in church will be lifted, with the length of worship extended from 1 to 2 hours per service. Church leaders who are desirous of implementing
Entiabusia mampani adodankwa kufuado ena enura sede aya otai bo eba ye fiefiem no so san ba ye fiefiem ne yedi nkomo na baby poti aye pese oro ponkroma boaye ne etie ho asiye wo ye nsore no emu oro enkroma mpacho ma achibio
mejo soro
medase na yamfa ne se mampani tebrofo won ti akama ya nte ho ne papa yi mesro bone tofa na chire mu maye kane no ananka o mampani ka se nipa wo ha 100 ena yenko hia da mu donhwere no ya tese wo se wo de donhwere ba kwa ka ho ama na ye donhwere mienu na ne yepese ye te ye ho ase ne se de nanka first ye dodoɔ mu ne ye kɔ no ye kɔ ne sa bia na se nipa wo ha no ana ye kɔ ne mu ye wo donhwere mienu se ye de besom
beda se di kan no wa bi mo fi donhwere ba kwa ko donhwere mienu enti asori session bia ye wono yetumi kwa sorry ana masarati ana bebia yesu bia donhwere mienu etoso mienu no e wo se nipa intermentity the friend social distancing no eye adwuma anye kra no e kwan ye wo se da wo ne nipa oban wo ntem na wo se ye minimum 1 meter chese wo tena won sa eni se ka obi a oban wo se kwan e da mo ntem bi wo se ekoso ana ye san so e hye ye mask no e wo asori emom dia ababe kan a toso miensa ene se ye nan ka se nipa ha bio enti wasore dan se befa nipa ha san ana ha nan a so bia tletene ne nsa na se ne nsa nka ne nua na se etumi fa ahanu a hono na ayema enti se first no wo die no na fa nipa ahanum na no bia tletene ne nsa ye tete entem na befa ahasan ayema in protocol and Quebec said there is no maximum cap. But social distancing, no, and a better any part here, a beco was sorry them.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's no pay. What be mama says, yeah, you threw my fine. Yeah, not yanti was name mono. The assessor is Sudiani as Shannon so dana say, your protocols and essential shayne de quotia COVID-19 dear. And found who say a do mono say my penyama ya hoquano as I see a diso.
Pepe. The kind of preventive etiquette and also safety protocols. Now, we see now you diso mask, yes, and sound who sanitizers near the no Buama, Ibi and sorry, Masarati Impono, Kakane Koyelo, Yantias and Bonibia, and no one I cosu diswa, your Mampene be Kakraka Wiso, and Kofa or Haubiaso Emre.
Yeah, that's it. Now, you're upon you're saying so. Say, yeah, quite sorry, near Cotati a hontem. Na ye fo trotro ne aka akokeka benben ho a ene ese me te he ma dwen ketua mu no misusu se kwasi ko no gina kwantie wa na mboa
me da se pass we bi sama me nkyere mu kakra
yo
ye kwa sorry ana ye koma saritia even though I share mask no senia ye tunum ye kasa praise the Lord ne ajesu hallelujah the aye ye na e ma sebe tesu kakra to mi fi wanum eba no protocol and because a risk no ye high essence say mene ye te e bia trotro ana taxi mu a ya say mask ye te mudin a ye nkoyedede de enti a ye tete ye ntem ne say ye mpese so bi kasa na say obi bie na no a se be na no tesu ebe gu obi so ana say ebe ben o eno nti na social distancing no wo ina say woni obi kasa gira ba bi no nyina ba bi mo tete mo ntem na empo so kasa na say tesu efi nanum eba sebi amambe toso ana ambe kawhwe ana wano ana se weni asori dem de ye tonum ye praise the Lord hallelujah ye free nyame sunsun konkro sani gidigidi ni ade ni mu ye sane ade no risk ne higher eno nti na ye say we show mask na was the social distancing account.
Okay.
Now to say me no te ebia yete trotro me te wo to nche wash your mask wa kan no to mismatch mask ma kama no to ma risk no wo form. And until na doctor for ne wono me wo abodi mu nya sapeni me de hihye no mo say transport ne mu no risk ne lower. Inti anon de yetumi eyi social distancing na efi ho. Na mum baby aye kwa koye dede ye to nyom nkeka ho ne ade de the social distancing na account transport ne mu so no. So we insist on social distancing na in the end no so transport fares so ebesan akosoro biom because abrani abribia petrol boy ko ne nkeka ho ne ade no ubo se kwa na transport fares no so ekoso especially now na wo kase said car be 50% of the capacity. So can in Abu and I'm penning for a siege na esano. The best receiving may be this one to me a boy my boy by.
Joe, ye da sepa na whether the ahobrasian so be saying to me chain and penny for adventure no where gina sieno and what from that the bid that nemo mono ye the ahobrasia bisa say yen fan say trotro mo to be a home real pon way. Will be home fifre na what the betinem no one kasa ho. Ni nose mask and so shena no. Now so senge yekoso atete ye ho ntam no a obi nso wo hokra ni muduro no wote won kyen na wo kamia wo enti se ne nka bia yemfa no se yebetena trotro mu kra no yenka sa se de aya se de wachire mu akire ye no e wo bra ye nose mask no so hye ya no na so sa ho kire bi ni obi ho fifire bi ni obi a ne wakanji a bi e hye no ne won so wa ho ni die bi a wo de kwadwuma ye nyina ete sa trotro kro na anu anka yemfa sa kwanya we so na yemma eno no enwo ho ene ebo ne de ekosoro a ebemia ye de enso nka apomuden fam no nka enye sanitation ni bia amadwen no madwen kire no
Me de pass no so de aba nimdie ne se yare no eye tissue enye fifiri tissue na edenante
okay
oboni se droplets nti de awo kan no metwa se no de nkada ne dan nyina yankasa yahu si senia yedi ehu ni no dia wo kana ne kwaso alo no na so say yare no ho asem na ye ka dia
okay
ene baby ampanifo esi egina ye ababi du se tissue no se wo sha mask na wote ka mu dia tissue no nkonkogu bi fofo so no e ho ne de panifo no ekire mu se ye bambo no baby egina na egina
oh okay na ye hwe ahohoje bia ne emoma hohoji bia de mantese mampanika ba so ka me so na waboaye na yate ye ho asene mom akwansra me aya hodo me tourist site no ye won ho kwan se ye betumi akọ baby ti se emfato ho e bia Every Gardens na so ye ne ho kwan se ye beko beach obi nso wo a wotempo ano baby e wo fikura no jese ne ho ye ne dekorase ye beka se wo kompo ano ye wo akwanya se ye beko ha ye wakwanya se ye nko ha ye baas ne nso ye sema ye sheda operate sabati tumi kotena baby a ye biem from Mr. Hone so biem kakrama ye
the beaches ye nyam ye and so mo yen se ye kakra na beaches ye bie ubaka isa bra ye de tabno to na hodo so no beach ye baby bakwa na enkofo eco beach na pantam tete no sebe ensheda nyina ne na so sebe beach ono woni de so ko dware nsu no so ko na nsu no mu a wo so bi so mu na osan so share mask
okay
ti se sa na all your beach wa on share mask na the same time in temperature no ensan nye adwuma because of crowds e ko beach ne ade ampani fo so so ye ntwentwen beach to de na kakra na other tourist sites no ye bibie ni sa ho de se bia wo kwa wo share mask kakra in temperature ntumi ye adwuma kakra omo de no fi ase ni hwese ne ekona no so ama kwantre kwan o betumi afa so se ye bedu beach ne de no so kwan ne be fa so na ya ye no e wo se kai so no se enye se de obi kan ho ne we wi anu no ye sua ho bi afi de ene ye mu na ye koye ni mu no de expectation be ya ka ho no a bit on guidelines I be develop from the ayesua wo eni mani ya de ayeye mu
yate ye da se na oron krume hwede o kan ye na atwemadwe si so say ye be ko beach na enije ne odoni ayonkofanti yentumi ntete ye ho ntam no de say de mpanifo pese ye ya ye be ye de abo ye ho ban ene adwomfo no so mo ato agumo o
enti ne koso bodewuro ema ye ma yenuano ma ne ade wodwom se wo be koso a wa hye wo mask no na intemtite no se mpo wo pa ade ana bibia intemtite no so ya boye ho modern ma aye adwuma kakra ye koso city gat ye nkasa mo nkobo ye ma me no ma na yenuano ma wodwom but afutu ne akwankyera a mo de be ma wo ma kyerɛ wo se mo nkoso anhye mask mo nkoso antete o mo ntem wa bra mo pai mo ne mai trainer yɛde ayɛ adwuma
yo anɔpɛ yɛda sepa na gya yɛfotuo baako ɛwa na yɛfa no nto yɛtirim na yɛfa mmɔ yɛn ho ban wɔ covid ho
ma menya ne mienu edi kan ne sɛ yare no ɛyɛ no korɛ wobɛtumi anya bi ebɛtumi akun nyame adom ne mo mpaebɔ ne anamo mampani ne abayɛ tuntina yare ne nsinsansoɔ ɛwɔ Ghana mem ha sei no ɛwɔ fam kakra na emom sɛ wammoa yɛn ɛnni wo ho ni ɛnni ni ayɛ kyerɛ no so na ayɛ wo ho sɛ media mentumi ho mentumi nhyɛ mask na media ahyɛ mboto media ahyɛ mabɔde ase a ebi betumi ayɛ ebi betumi akun ɛtɔ so mienu ansa na ebi yɛn nkɔmɔ yɛase no ɛkyɛ sɛ wo ka yɛ ba panin a wadi mfie duokono a ebi mo hyehyɛ sɛ sɛbi ɔyɛ bɛyifo nti ɔmo yɛ na yakayaka de ɛma no ewu yɛ ɛnɛ me no ka sɛ ɔmampanin nankasa ɛde ne nan hyɛ ne mpabɔ ɔkɔ gonja mɛmu hɔ ankasa na ne podium me gidi sɛ odu hɔ a beyond their police for ne nkeka ho ne adeɛ efi aseɛ ɛyɛ under the instructions no odu hɔ a ɛnyɛ me wawa sɛ obetu ɛho anamɔ kakra so ɛwɔ hɔ medawase
owura kwagya ɔpɔnkroma no pɛ yɛda ase pii
yes medawase
abusuafo yɛ ne owura kwagya ɔpɔnkroma wɔyɛ soafo a wɔhwɛ nkitahodie ho nsɛm so ɛwɔ ɔman mu ɛna ɛtwetwe nkɔmɔ no nti deɛ wonto ho ase wɔ mu no megye sa afei deɛ emu da hɔ na yɛnsan kɔ ahoma no so na yɛ ne ɛyɛ Dr. Anigezi wɔ ɛntwetwe nkɔmɔ Dr. Anigezi ɛyɛ psychologist na yɛne ne nkɔmɔ mfa ɛyɛ yɛ maame yi a wanyi nti wɔ bɛyifo yi a binom abiri no ɛkone Dr. Gezi mpacho mache
omitia anyway tiefo ne wahwefo nyina
yɛda se pa ne omre sɛ ebiri bia no yɛfrɛ wa ya na wanya yɛ ho adagye na anɔpɛn so yɛhwɛ ne sei wo de wakwakoyɛ psychologist ya nipa adwene ho nimdeɛ na wo yi sɛ wo de ebia moral lessons sa Ghana fo di dwuma na wo de ka asɛm anɔpɛ na wo de gidie nso ka asɛm anɔpɛ yi a sɛ Ghana fo no ye wo gidie wo ya adwene mu no ɛso kyɛn yɛ nteteyɛ anasesɛn pakyɛ wo
meka no grese sɛ video no still our screen no so affect me din
kafra mama
nipa ebetimi abo nipa especially where mid religion bebe mu kakra say Ghana no your religion in terms of Christianity any Islam and Muslim na nipa betimi abo ninua ba because of osi oye beyifo na yemi dey say mitimiti kakra before time I woke asano about the fact say we were evidence ben into na say we bu nipa sa and I say ye ka say ya dream nso so because a strong religious country nti adenti ade a wo ye no wo kra wo ye bone che nipa wo si oye beyifo no it is say we bu nipa to the extent say nipa no ebe hwere ne nkwa at that age na che say ye we hwere ye guso we hwere Ghana ye we hwere and we need more education and awareness. Say nyama bisano, and I think say I see a religion and I say understanding of, and I see a monitor sanyame because before stems out of microphobia jedinti, microphobia beliefs binti. So because will be a before. Now what put ne kun unim say a criminal offense. And now if I say we a Christian and I say we practice any religion. So we kunipa a bonny more than nipa a first any before now we see nipa ni. And if I would also be permitted to say your friends say Bible when they say thou shalt not kill. And they sure say in most of our religious ways so a cancer yen Ghana traditional religion no cramo. Kun bisa yen kunipa sa na yen but nipa to the extent say we be free no. Now Chese BBC crowd more share on omugina ho some fragile ho cry traumatizing because me cry me friend me say me strong no honestly video nation very very difficult say you betimi abo biana chese abrewa excuse me mintimi ponkasa because video so na enkola hye saade we ya omunyi a eden na ekoso wo mu ana po say omu video ni ade no iti we have a long way to go. Ghana. Now we have to.
Dr. Gezi, yada say na said ya woka say ya na ye be kono de na ye wachiri no yesere wo anope ye ngina unim de so say psychologist na twen ben kakra fi say said ya woka say ye wachiri no say ye ne obi anani afi etia na ye babunu a ye nyanu said ya ono so anyi edu no ne tebia wo mu na tenka na said ya na dwen ye adwuma na said ya wo ye ne niema bi no aya ye ne safo ne ntena sen ne ankobo won bayi amro won ku won se de ye hu ibi
me da se bebre ye nyi no na yesesa so me kase yesesa obviously me nya medical doctor and me nka medical eniama no
okay
enti ubos adwe no so esesa efi se wo hwa se bia wo nam mpo na wo pra abofra pra na woni abofra pra the same level of a pra ubos abofra ne de no ekru ne besa ejapanyi no ye nyi no na ye system no nyina esesa san so na ya adwe no so ye nyi no na eno nso so obi be ka me nka no loosely ye old iti niama bi wo ho a ye nyi no ye refi bo so bi wo say na say min kai niama kra ana say ye fe bibi dementia but no ne extreme of it iti say ye do baby a aya me kan say chemical ana say the brain niama a ewo mo hormones a eboa ema niama esisi ye ana say ma ye kai niama ema ye niama no enye the same to so bi a oye young iti a friend say if you say ye ko be say 50 55 60 especially over 65 we sure mama yes within 90 and I know within 90 iti esa na the thinking the thought patterns niama yakoso wona dream no it slow down if you say odidi oye bibia but enye as sharp as inti se woni obitia se wo hu se senya na bia se wo maame ana wo aunt ana se wo neighbor senya na first na ote no enye the same inti ebi okra ne dressing ebi obi okra ote wa na o man kasa o ne ho kasa loneliness wo eche se ka ono nko a etimi eye de man
ye da se na ye san so hwe ne sei ye pese anope oboa ye pa wo nipa adwene mu famu no a wan kasa so no ne de wo ho nim de pa won se obi wo ho a aso rekra na obekọ na ebeka che ne se wo maame ana wo fayi ana wo so e wo baifu a obefie a na watu ne hofo ene ya akakura wo ne nipa ne beye na emom onkofa bibi mmono to the extent se onipa no kra be hwere ne nkwa enti onipa wo no sususu se me ba kofa maame ye fichire ade che me ba ne yare enti maame ye baifu a wotumi gina nanim gina brewanim ebiri mu no kosisi obewu no sabio wa adwene mu no wonye widini na emom bayiye na no no de wo chinti na wo yesa wonye widini dada
won say here say obey widini dada ansana won say anything na ya na places be okra ye say asori ni ade no ye brainwashing and I say ye timi sisan ya adwen say de bia ye catch o say won say ye believe in bayiye so much but mo bia don't get me wrong me can say bayiye ni ho me nya so for me nya whatever but they make say ho say the person be can say bia o doctor say bayiye ni
ato asie pa
me can say even if beye wo hokra po so wo say nyankopon so chen beye no
okay
inti say also for people catch row bibia wo faith ni den eno no na me feel say ya sorry ni ade and we need to educate people say your faith no say we increase your faith because so when you say nyame ana dia wo so no so chen beye a wo nkobo obi and I say bibi so na esi na wo feel say any right for right channel because that's where our problem is. Sisi a yetena ye betimi akasa but until say ye regulate ye churches no yentimi nya ho hwe but they say ye tu ye ho fo society no fo say bibi po na wate wa sorry and also for people na waka bibia don't use violence because what we use violence no what sem no crampo worse than the or their other year no if so be a before that's relative who need evidence bia and no say yakan it is a back of funny feature obitimi say wasoro na pa we dware minim woman bia wasoro we dware minim na ye adwuma e wo prison bibia watena ne came 5 minutes and articulate a bone and a car ni bibia tete what you say internet say bia so obiti ho a beye no na aye no we all have our fate obia ne nko ana ne destiny ana bibisa nti wuntimi nka say abrewo bi oti baby a say bia no post so you ndidi ye okomede no ana say bia ne health because in yama bebre wo ho a wodu age bia ye nhwe nti say ye very very careful say ye emphasize level no and say we ye sofo na wutie because me say asofo bebre etie Adom because omo contact me men ma anka nsema ebema obi akofie akoye ne maame ana ne nana bi oti ne baby a origin no ho bibi let's preach faith say yen so nyame yen believe because we believe in nyame a we say sa nyama we nyankopon no ochi ana say Allah na whoever you or whatever you believe in omuchi efi omuchi bone iti wo kra wo ye bone echi nipa oye no
jo Dr. Anigezi enti se yenya gidie se ye nyankopon ayesom no no wo so che baifuo enti wugye dia wontimi ma ahokwan ma bayfo nyawo na sɛ yetimi de eno to ho ɛwɔ bra ye nyina ye agidifo de a ɛne so obitimi hwa abrewa mobroni bia na akokora mobroni bia nim na ɔyɛ ne sɛ ya ɛna na mebisa elia no sɛ ɛne sɛ onipa no ankasa no wɔyɛ obi a abonefo sem woni tirim wonye dada wono na dwene mu no wonye oye wicked enti wonsuro mfere se wogina abrewa na asa akokora bia nim na obebiri mu ne saa.
You sorry, I'm sorry, I drifted off a bit. As someone I person me can say, nipa san be and yes, born in a one trimba or you influenced by their air course.
Okay.
Oh, at say be a obiako school and now bibisa or be a yebi into onunsu yebi. And I say, or peso ye hero or who or maybe a chromo or cry moon and I don't know ye champion. It is a mimiti and nimusha a lady now. I'm so a lady. You're starting ya kita whip near their mammy or the bobano. Oh, obi or peso can say, ah, wait me cramp on me. Say, and I'm say, and social influence, any pressure, and my me and Yamabia, and yes, I drink bonnet away it. But say, yeah, will be able born in someone I say, Mammy, wait, the only day will come to BI or Bayama. And that's what it's my hero. And no, they're and for years and saying, a cry, I drink bonnet be in it.
Nemo sɛ be ya nipa bebo agene so sɛ wo ye ya santo ana wo ye konfo anoche nti na wa agege nanim na wa ye hwehwe anim na wa ye bibisa oh okay yate ase na ye hwe ne sei so ohia anase ahokyere etumi ma onipa kotebia mu a wani bɔ ne so a wadwen mu no etumi ye wo sɛ onipa de wo bayifo.
Who purchase a nipa sorry pacho clarify
pacho de na mi bisa ne say esan say we are psychologists na ye hwe de aye koso oni pa adwemu nti na mi bisa say to da bia woni pa ohia ehia no pa anasa ahokyere aka no pa no ne tebia wowom ne ba bia wote no etumi ma nipa ni bo ne so kra etumi de bibi sa susu no say nipa we de ohia ne tebia ni say de ehia ne ya bayie ne ha no enso bia na ye ohia na asa ahokyere.
Oh yes, I mean they're 100%. Say ohia etimi ma because when we say deprivation and also ohia etimi ma nipa yet to say there we friends say yeah because of description I had ma before and I say because obu ha ba wo hwe sikeni and I say bibia because on the sikeni your head dey before because of when bibi or when it die or when they say or anything but we share say near bia mami we share say near our gray hair crampon and can say it me white fair bibi or baby e bi kro ho kasa na no ye frɛ bibi dementia it be do baby and the refia there or kasa na no near there it me presenting it want to say mental health. We do age bia it me presenting also mental health to be hu a ne hu say na wo kan e bia ntoma kro fra atete baby oti efi ana anya say ne hu na efi but like you're saying poverty deprivation it me ma nipa eye to say bia because when we say send ya present we share films now videos near there you presented beye and I say what you call it Satan in a way into nipa na dream no ohun ya na otumi associate ti say na America keke ye share films near there they be I see Jesus or your white say na otie ni ti tintin near there into who be bisa there I say nyankopon na Jesus na wo hu first so also they say present bibi poverty near there no so the one say o abrewa beyiphobia oti baby it's very important say media dey be am education and awareness say inviting me to programs say honestly me dey because we need to be aware say enye beye you can't want to me and justify idea we need evidence for there be poverty because nipa na wo bo no already no obre what's my point now?
Mate was here, and
I was bono account. It's difficult. Yes, poverty, Emma. We just assume the worst for people.
Okay, Dr. Anigezi, what say what kwayo ba? And Pepe so man na womunyi be ye merwa ye taibo won be yi. Say eye na sensem bi say man home ne so a te brofo ye timi tworo. Yen so aya no du dwom no yetumi kasa obedwam ne nyina ne akasa atia. Oh aya na acha na wotwe kunkurum ya prato baby. Yemfa ne se enne yenkom a yedi wa afisem so yi se yesi Dr. Anigezi mfa susudie bi nto ho a omamu ne nyina ebe ya asotwe na ye hwesode ama ebinom se obi ye saade ya sat bia se ne yemfa ne fam na nya desuade a mpacho nka osusuye ne sen.
Oh, okay, baby, the baby. The American say, I think say Ministry for Gender and Women Patrol. Ministry now dealing with women and children and all of that. so omu take this up and I me the party I will kind and say I did be a me who ye me bag Ghana and following ye start assembly no do assembly relevant see you follow Ubesha 3-4 days not a court because news for fraba but make us say BBC and make us say yen for be being to us we say ya at some besi usuni ubeko jail ubeyese and it should be a strong sentence prison sentence about man who say ignorance and your excuse. And we have to make us say the same ministry and now the government should put something in place. Every regulated churches say that is your business. Men from back public because this is our public protection order. No, you're making sure say you're very very strong. Send your young for everything near Mabiasi and Abia say a sorry important yen regulating the yeta. So obi you find it out say BBSC based on Assembia, sorry be kaya and I say BBSA, they should hold the church accountable. And here say back so ya first nipa say so say
because
the programs now because send ya TV and the local communities because we shall say ho baby answer no more is it which camp niama it's how much education and the regions be ya ba Accra ne ade a big cities ni Kumasi ni Takoradi ni ade na eniama ekoso. My question is a day education and a wo places sir because ebi okra they are not educated into we leaflet ni ade enko but send ye chi our local languages any other languages we should so yes masem say we should implement them because ye laws now but the most important thing is implement the laws and the regulations now but implementation is very important and ye starting media say now so I am the say information minister say president on side and also the weight ebeba emankrofo akumetu inti mpanyifo no yenyahu bibi.
Dr. Anigezi anope Adom efisem dwumadie bedwam ye ni so won church mu pa ye da senso pa na emu no ye Ghana foi ye wo ye ntete ye wo ya mamre fa ne sa ebia osum ahodo nti ye mane ana say ye ndem so fa futuo bi eja Ghana fo nya ne tituru ene emabunu se ebia na obabunu bia ene wo so obabunu nti on de oni baye no bia na no so won kwatenten ahia na ochro no so abaye bayfo no bia me so fa futuo bi giant na ene wako
yo me dasi bebre and I message so I say me dasi so say we producers mo inviting me and because subject area be passionate and makoma so pa into the American say a friend saying sa be ye ni nyama mesa ko de American biom say your religion mo say your traditional religion say your Islamic religion say your Christian mimi a Christian but mimi de ni say they be American for say one kasa build with faith ujidi ewo nipa wosum no because obi bekasa dem me promote other gods no ade bia wugidi no ochifin that one I know say religious bia na ochifin nti se bia bibi na wate a ma de a wate no wonfa wasem nko obi so nti na court kura ye ka say your friends say evidence we hen den na che wo bibi pa e wo ko gina wo ka say spiritual no betimi the spiritual about court Sounds to the Viasia Brabonity. It is our Brabon Koswana positive thinking, positive mindset. So a dear way, may ya copy say a bay gradually because they be an here blame ye or blame culture away your mind. May you blame Uncrofo for in Yama be my mistake. Oh, maybe I make a warrior, our arena ye. Oh, Miko school, and I'm uncle school, a Jume mania. Menko blame obi. Ebi assign kokotro receive ye. Ya pay application the papa. Uko interviewer. She should be only mu not interview na yembisa or questions. Inti nyama sa because they piano say nyama nkosu ye ma ye obi ya referral hospital. Wo de na ko asori ma ya bompire and nipa na ewu anase bia ebi krapo a na nipa no yare bi ehye mu dadaada. Inti ona na we charge. And menko blame obi for that. So why ye bibia na anye yi a then you have an answer be a nipa na kase me na me ye oba an answer be that's different but please yen try as much as possible say yen blame obi then mom we should be strong and try and think positive and I'm a patrol sorry and so yen preaching the word of God yen jive the blame culture so being a why because we should videos ebi o why SEO say kan finimu buy we ni ye we ni ye say e confuse na cause confusion dey break our families but say betimi anka say yan kasa ya dwen mu no our mindset, because you feel be cognitive behavior, and I say positive cognition. And don't just say a DPA or Jano. And no name manifest, and no name babble, behavior. It is a watching say my brabo be here. A bama a quite pia will be take it, Babama wa brabo be obey in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Okay.
So what that is a would say, hey, me fear their bay phone and walk home so that is what would happen.
Joe, Dr. Anigezi, me did sound of pedio was pebia etio na yada senso and ombre.
This is dance bebre.
So, I will say for your name, Dr. Anigezi na chichen komo or ye psychologist, addictive behavior, no, the wire cha cow hono. Wo betre no ama watumi afiri wono ne ne twetwe nkomo na ase kese ye de kire ni so e de mana busua ha na brema kwan ma afisem komo twetwe no me di AC anope nkomo a ye di ye ne sese wadwemu ye okrense ne sa asore ye kɔ ne sen na ne gide bia ne akwansra ahodo bia me kire tourism site ne ade ne no so te sen a oropon kroma biebie ne ma ni so a kire ye na afen so ye ne maame Cynthia Morrison so di nkomo fa ye maame ya wadi frihia di okro a nipa bi se wo beifo nti wo mo aburu no akuno no na ye ne Dr. Anigezi so edi nkomo me gide se ene ya wo ye babunin eye na sesa adwane ba otirimu ade me di gya wo ne se bisa ho se wo nkwatenten a ebeduru so ebusua me so am o man hene kwabena sante enso ne na bedwafo de amanyosem fam eye mpensempensem odwumadi so no wo de aba beso me din de ma me kira Diamond me do bibia se emo ache.
Well, yasaba ya damu ina mase Diamond try da say sounds when you go through a FSM kama sa. Ebra so say dem pensemu ebro Nimian for Benjamin a former MP Upper Dencha West Atenase. Yehwe nim say Kanegan and Sianemnia no India. His Excellency Sam P. Yale as well as Kayensa Ewanzi. Wa kwaba. Weekend no makwazan.
Oh, nyame adum.
Bibia na me kwazo.
Nyame adum kakrakra.
Mugusu ye ntotuye.
Yegusu dendende pa.
Say 4 more.
4 more for nana yes.
Di ntina ye 4 more.
Oh, bibia di adanse. From my born bibia no man nyina di ho adanse.
Say because
the average Ghanaian no hwe obun kompo hwe na chi. We bibia besin na mu fi say Ghana for their short memories. Inti so bia ba no be yan nima bia enso ni bia officer within some short time will be a rebefi. Inti that was how an NDC for the buoman. Oh, you take them for granted. Ghana need after 3, 4, 5 months in rebefi. You know. However, the dona entesa. Inti sisiano Ghana for boom kompo ko mechi se fiemi en se bia besin ko. Aban bia na ho na mo no mutu. No mo hwe ifise na nado so ba ye anamo one oman no etu no omde toto ho a omfise na edana kwam say de ifie nan bio besan ahye na nado
ti na montu benza na MPP under na nado ba motitu e so
na montu de yetu bebre yetutu bebre ama amanfo nkranhye ama amanfo hope. So, say it is only this government and about meeting aspirations. For example, yet your memu Bible cram yet says for lack of knowledge my people perish. Where them say one of the topics I ever discuss here, mami ya kukunu ya and those things. To me, education issues. So some from the more enlightened people become no. Because come out from here more enlightened, or my school and yanim dear, and we are accountants, journalists, near the idea, can see yinke AC. If anything at all, come be simple, nipper di 90 years, not behave abnormally. Come out for be who the entire people of that age, no. Ebi behave in that weird manner. And so for lack of knowledge, look at Adia Kwakusi. And people would have appreciated, say, rather, no, you revere our aged. So who them channel. It is another who say yes, you to be overcome this and many other things. I will say your my school some ekoyi. Your cover free secondary school by in fact your day back cry even man this if we almost sponsor adverts about 200
but
plus.
Anything MPP is now free SHS. Bibia free SHS.
Now what be say myself na start here fi baby. Look, I'm just for lack of knowledge my people perish. Sure. education na ye can see bibia fa pim gina so. And now to her as an account as a journalist, media personnel, also a CEO of another company. Because of that, no, at least living standards and for that matter, the rest get improved. It's because of education. And because of education, we have common malaria. The number of people are malaria. Ekumomo, ewo meimu. Denti na mani basa. Compare baby malaria rates no was no as against places like maybe the Tranzacos and the East Legonia. Why? So lack of knowledge. Someone for now who say be a man term cross ye didn't keke krana I mention tata how may be breed mosquitoes no keke no man food nimintino. Yet down Emma malaria queen. In the process, the impact of malaria on healthcare delivery, the impact on yen health insurance schemes, the impact on yen output, because a employee be every week or every other week or every month be a crab back employee back could be malaria we're doing home affected productivity. So for the check. Senkaman for knowledge who say, oh, there be it's a matter of just keeping our environment neat and clean. That's straight away, so the impact. Look, again, your main per the old structure. Now, may you call a name at a time, school dropouts almost about 500,000 kids were dropping out after GHS. Either because omni boaphobia or don't secondary school. Fees. If you cry to me along the line, you drop out because Omunyeska. Then I am ya cry on my final year. After 3 years, Onyeska and fan register for the exams in Tino. Now I say Omunyamu drop out. And now, Sankureya almost every year beyond year drop of 500 no. Obi calculated the cost. The security implications. Onam. Now you so far bro who now be we na Jonas uncle we editio ebegina wo so mu bi ditio begina wo so a na ukoya na so buy and AFSA you drive your cars on the streets now you see these boys able-bodied boys obi o ma ukra just pick it back obi kra do mo okay obi o ma akofa this o mo the clean windscreens anime so windscreen anim clean say you clean udu home a opese obede kanya ne pere no survival issues ukoye area home ya boys ya ukọ galamsey ya if stop galamsey dey issues survival issues because I'm na boys ni kokọ wure mu no so
they're too risky.
You cross the deserts and what have you, all this stowaway they call no form evacuate from Lebanon, then they cross all this things. So it's about education there. It's not just about the classroom, yes, it's the underlying factor ya brabo ibibia do na cast across. It's know that you can't I'll say you may any break. Na ye can ye because ye new school some no na amount for no nyina do na nipa do na becomes enlightened at the end of the day ebeboa omano in several ways.
Okay, so beyond
that one any the positives are the beba. One district, one factory. Per the last check almost about 80 egusu koso. Emu about almost about 200 plus, and their cost almost 80 there. Are you ready? Okay, you buy those were the days now amount for need and that will be our this we invest here. All you have to do was to go and join Association of Unemployed Graduates. I buy papa and then another buy. I say, hey, Debbie, yen to me and cost me say yeah. We need to resolve or address these issues. Immediate solution, long term going forward. Immediately, no cover NAPCO at the buy. So the association now CCR. Yempe a Juma Kakrebi and Farmer Wom. while we look for permanent solution to this employment issues. Immediately, no, we are creating NAPCO. We have about 100,000 of these young men. And then going forward, no, you expand the economy, no, and I don't see any sort of pair the data. You buy the economy that was growing about 3.7, no, but for COVID, before COVID, now I'm almost about 8+ or thereabout. Meaning say you expanded the economy, and the economy also expanded. It comes with job creation and what have you. So not only nana boys enya any daso, but as we create more factories, no, Emma those who were unemployed, and even those in schools, no, so enya any daso. So ochinabi by the time maybe a school, no, so factory I started with I am free, and as I started with ABA diason, ABA me school ne ye. Therefore, menya adwuma ayo. So we are
okay with one district, one factory. Maybe say the home social we're very okay.
Good policy, a new event, a process.
So it's still ongoing.
And if yes, if first 3 years, now almost 80, the aye ready a adwuma, now about 100+ and so various stages are a many that's all a man crunch. So and you'll be an ebenya adwuma or these factories. Then I say yes, there were a lot of other people who are almost I can't say almost some adwuma as almost be to me. Aye, almost kase adwuma. How do we go about those ones and so? Yem schemes be and famra financial schemes be a bit to me a source of amount for us. So and several of these schemes so now ya establish a me social nancy ya creative you disabled for ya. It must say 1,000+ or so. Na come 2 million Ghana cedis or so. And so this is also massive. So there are several of such schemes. Ukodon Kumasi home, Debia me using as an example because he's a young guy. I mean, excellent performance. I was sector near the question. They just million just so for the Omania adio ye perhaps on no stand the home as I can do it now. Brilliant chap. $100 million scheme and now to establish your home. You train amount for the youth, no. You train we are abano up his card the idea. I saw was in it. Scared this so much in so no and you skank it. You see, the way ya skakra your man about after the training, no, your man about 10,000 Ghana cedis, which is scattered than 100 million.
100 million.
100 million. A bit minya 100,000 Ghana cedis. That is the equivalent of a scattered than 1 billion.
Okay.
So, and no cost so, mass rock cost so, all kinds of things be brave. And they cost until not only and I support those in a formal sector, but those who so man so be to me, I don't know. I used to man as a trade. I dear you demand so no. The facilities be brave a bar, a source or mass and said a beer or minimum and so a bit tumpong. So it took a cow when we boom one village, one dama, a boy in Yanmaku be planting for food and jobs. A Drumanku creative cocoa this from Secra or my assistant pharmacy, extension officers. I mean, for some years, be a best Nubian man could be as I see you. And so, Dr. Free needn't call for by near my air cost war, a great sector hormone. You can't believe it. So, until take sector by sector, be out to Mr. Sector Biano, and make significant progress. And then the amount for now, regime say, hey, then yeah, Papa, and in the party for or bath for cry, feeling now, did it all baby didn't next cry, which may sound you main idea. Sissy and Nanny necessary for me, dear. And yes, a man of 4 more years they come on. A new more bayano.
Yes, as a cover. Yeah. You're doing it to us and ask SSM and reasons for Tuaso and or dear to my ever issues Nankasa about Nana Kasa, Wakasa, and then that old lady is showing a challenge. Well, why should we consider the NDC under John Dramani Mahama and Professor J. Nana? Why should we do that?
I'm not Mitzi. Come maybe some academy and this in the Mepede Yabasisa Abane Nedama John Hammer. No, Yamizam Bakan, no, here because I'm more votical. No, so cognoso or votical, and Ben Sunuso or votical. Now, when too many kita wins him. Yeah, oh, now, one za Abeni Orie, and Abanda Donusa Wabakwan, Nusu Orie. Na se yenu animi bisa wane pia. Amde we sunya poor mbi. Na wa start. Takrade force or Europe. One district, one factory. Free senior SHS. Mnapko. Na waka odoko. Na aso manen yenti na fom. Ewo meche ya. Yenti na fom nhwehwe. Each of the projects na abanis wayen. Se osun project thoughts adwin project ho. Na project launch ad launch project no. Now for each project we have launch or management, it must have an objective. If you want to solve unemployment, if you want to improve agriculture, if you want to eliminate environmental problem, every project we have done, on them that month no be to your or there or month no go there. See a project for 4 years now. Bibi no war many me assassin.
Of course, policies in cyber planting for food and jobs. One district, one factory. Free SHS.
Nana mine no chapter. Nana mine chapter. Debisam. Inti mbeka musumajin. Yam find it there. Senior high school. Na maminyamin ni there. Oman ni sibia yi woman inti no. Yensi school den bebre. Yenyi hostess bebre. Yenyi sabio teacher fu bebre. Yenyi science life bebre. Na kojo I did project management for my masters. Whenever you are plotting a project now, there's a constraint line. Now here on the constraint line, what are the issues on the constraint line? Now try to eliminate so that you move there. Because if you skip one of the constraints, the problem. You understand what I'm saying? Now on a long line, a better evaluation about what this status here, how it's linked to where you started and how it's linked to where you are going to land. That's what we call the fish bone strategy. Now, one of the issues that we raised about senior high school, it has enrolled many people, more children than it would have otherwise absorbed. That is fine. Statistically, numerically, it's okay. But me kind of sanya free senior high school, and tell them from me when you school konko. Is that the case?
It depends on how you look at it.
And that's what I'm going to show you. You would have noticed that as a result of the free senior high school, some of the constraints that were not removed, you understand, it attacked the health of the student. It created congestions at the various schools. And many other implementation problems were created. It also created the double track system. It also created a situation where somebody would have to leave Ugrom. Ugrom or no back Bessin Kwamona, Eco School, 13-year-old girl, no only accommodation. So we of the NDC decided, say, instead of skipping any of the major constraints, let's just try to pick the constraints and solve them. And one of them was there were not enough classrooms. And even if you want to do the classrooms, they should be closer schools, they should be closer to the communities. And so we decided to build the community senior high schools that we call the E blocks. Now, we also improved the science blocks and others. The only difference between the MPP policy and NDC MPP policy, I remember when President Mahama opened the first free senior high school with Etwam, President Nukrum. Nana Addo commended him for that project, and you have they can go commended him for that project, which means that the NDC had not about improving education. So that was, we thought that we should remove the constraints. What the MPP did was, no, instant implementation. Instant implementation.
You were thinking progressive.
Yes, progressive.
Kakra.
Much of the constraints. Yeah, much of the constraints. In fact, you have done project management. Some of the constraints are not as major as the others.
Yeah, to me, she say, Accra maybe 13 years, we free of Kenya. Say, Abesako from Mantem. At that age, the risk of living alone, going off hostel.
Yes.
Yeah, because schools are all limited. The MS schools are all on the Emra. So many other factors.
Yes.
So you think that progressively, no,
we would have within 3 years, within 3 years, project, we would have removed a lot of the constraints by these 3 years. Again, Nana Governor, when we were talking about removing the constraint, they thought about instant implementation. CCR. Now, this year, 2020, this is the last batch, isn't it? Did they start the GSS instantly, or it was progressive? Kakra. So, Kakra, you can say progressive. Okay. Having established that fact, then you look at some of the issues that have come out. And to your boss has on mind, can be solving better. And say, if you look at education is in its entirety, payment of school fees is not a major and a part of the major problems from some parents face. But it was not the all in all. Because why am I saying that? Obi the neighbor call Christ the King. Akosobo International Junior High School. What do they call the big schools? Ghana International School. Big schools. Ultimately dollars. Ultimately whatever. Now say, ultimately the banning school fees from JSS no way. Now or senior high school there, we see free. In a way, and to me, this is an unjust social distribution of wealth. Unjust. Because in the tax and other things, you tax the poor and the rich to help the poor. You tax America, baby, you tax the rich and pay save the poor. So obi to say me, and that's obi to say my brother, and that's obi to say sebi aduminti. You bet me in Badia, you mako Akosomo International Primary School. Na say ebedu secondary school. Wo say me fan say akoda bi afa na wa start obra no. Ye nyina yamba no aban ntua free. And you remember Ken Ofuriatta, our finance minister? Yes. He said no. He morally, ethically, he doesn't feel say what in a baba ko atimota no ko jan wasa. Whereas he can pay for 10 children. This is a social intervention, and social intervention must not be implemented in such a way say the rich in a way will be richer and the poor be poorer. Because some say what they may back or two.
But what MPR, one of our challenges is data. Maybe data.
Yes. For data.
How do you just draw that line?
Data, the data on poverty line. Statistical Service have it. Ministry of Gender, also normally lead project. We have a social strata of our GRE even has it by tax, structure. No, you understand? Now you cannot therefore say because of lack of data. Anya crack say what more would you want somebody? But more subsidy. You understand what I'm saying? So that is one of the areas also even here. Now we also have to look at the sustainability of the project. Today I'm talking to you as a project management student. We are looking at the sustainability of the project. One of them is the source of funding for the free senior high school. All right. And we are lucky to have been left with some money in the Osla, and also we have also developed two major oil fields in addition, the Sankofa and that. So that is the source, major source of the funding of the free senior high school. Okay. Now, if you look at the sources of funding, you remember last year, Talo was creating some problems for us.
Yeah.
And the world market prices of oil and also unstable. Ghana is both a producer and an exporter, importer and exporter of oil. Now, when oil prices fall, our revenue also what? Fall. You understand? But the quantum of the fall, no, so master will calculate here a hadring. Now, over the last 4 years, if you look at tax revenue, it has also not been performing well. So your two major sources of revenue are ubenya allowance dia wuye oil revenue and also government of Ghana generated revenue. And even with Ghana government revenue, no, salaries of employees it take almost 2/3 of that.
You can you.
What's it?
You can you.
And yes, I mean,
sustainability will be a challenge if you look at all these parameters.
Yes,
clearly.
So what you do is you take a critical part. Over to me, I remove all these issues properly. You understand? Properly. So these are some of the challenges. So if you have to review or talk about as experts sitting on the program of improving the senior high school now, these will be some of my comments. But these comments are not just political pushovers. Okay. They are real issues that we have to deal with. Now, the other issue that goes with free senior high school has to do not only the school fees, but the textbooks they use. All right? The quality of textbooks that they use. You would remember that, and recently, some textbooks came up, and because it contained the CSM, you know what is it? The whatever, what is it? Sexual orientation, education. People resisted it, and we had to withdraw those textbooks. And as I speak to you now, there's no textbook available to our students.
Not for release.
Dabe.
Oh, I think I check the authorized textbooks.
Master, they have released, they have received. I want to see this because I mean, textbook is a constraint. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it became necessary for us as a state to procure past questions for the student in lieu of the textbooks. So what I'm saying is that as a project, as a process, as a policy, there should be critical analysis of all those. It's not a question of engineering, because people were going to school before, isn't it? The other half is that there's this large chunk of the bulge, no manner increase, you know. When you say most private schools have collapsed now.
Okay.
When you say most private schools have, it's because of migration from the private schools
to public schools.
That has also added
because of the free. They are thinking through well of the private schools.
There's a lot of improvement. So now the private schools have collapsed.
Oh, policy about the title to Mohona Egu be Jumazo.
Well, Amani, the Denyamias said through Minuay, or Mama I clear and this is still among support to the free secondary.
They'll review.
My president Mahama Krako so nearly 2 billion, 2 billion Ghana cedis and so they best support to school no. Fakoye dem a pay.
But you okay?
Why would you complain? Why would you complain? Ben,
you okay?
Ben, na say we say. Na say we say. No, be the Ben that I know. Analyze this critically.
I know Mahama sana. Mo prepare mo ho say. Mo ya de pa. Be hu susu so na e ba no.
I didn't make a
how can say tinya community.
Be the Ben that I know. Don't do Mahama this policy. And I'm better now become Mahama. No. I want to talk about the national policy that has been improved.
There's also running away from Mahama because
no. Credibility.
Mom was on your credible. Credibility. Mom was on your credible. Credibility. Elections. Credibility. It is our fair result associated with you. That's fine. That's fine. What I'm saying is that would have been started from baby or the win. Nanka, the assumption was Escafono, Nanka Ibianom don't mark up private schools because they could afford to pay.
Yeah.
Now here we are. He says a be free, you know, Escafono crowns with Domuma. Elko say. What does that tell you?
But it's a sanity.
Yes, so that should tell you, sir, equally, you know, those we assume some years for no, they be enough. What they were going through in order to pay fees at private schools, not easy. That is why, in any case, there's a caveat. say esikafo so called esikafo na omfisi ombetumi omba fees no even though the policy is there's an account that ombetumi contribute towards it. I want to believe say they have been the likes no they are contributing towards that.
I have been denied paying PTA dues to support
that is
my
not
school.
PTA dues. We are not talking about PTA dues.
Yes. What
PTA, are you school. PTA dues, no.
Yes.
PTA dues became
to support the school.
Yes.
No, PTA dues, no. It became an issue, even though it's a voluntary association. So do maybe
na influence na broso.
Yes, to the extent say ABS almost agree on a particular fee. Say be obi a PTA dues 100. Na me ba. Maybe a metime tuya the fee, but metime tuya.
As I say,
PTA fly a bit because any amount near pamo. Was that fair? Yeah. It's any amount PTA na buying fee say no. I say standardized at the end yes, which is a voluntary association. Ni say.
So how much of the voluntary contribution
are there's an account
accrued? Oh, how much has been accrued? How much have you paid?
For PTA?
No, government private support for that.
Oh, see, I'm maybe I need secondary school, see, Antino. But we expect to say, okay, really, no, the scaffold be if they are willing to contribute towards it. They the means to contribute towards it. But look, what can I say? I was saying, you see, a dying or starting with say, and Korana was like, a mobile code, Obi. Echo do free. Yeah. I am free. I have. Yeah. Yet they were the champions of free community day schools.
Targeted within the community.
For 8 years, no mobile. Almost as at that time, I'm recording just almost 43. Do you know the number of communities I always say? Some meaning if central region. Simple year first central region. Only the number of towns I was central region. Until going by 43 schools per 8 years, na omokon. The bank na kumbi we in central region. 43 schools for 8 years. The bank na kumbi we central region, no matter other regions. Na why ba and na ka entena fie and train kopinta ma yebisi school ansa na wako school di bi no. Tineren first any jamad only the rich ma and call the Achimoters and the Fantipims and the Augustins no. Oh, that's a copy of Madia. Yet who said I am free community schools in Sani Manamana. Ah, it's a baby bano be created them. Fair system.
Obia with Makobi.
A beer ha with me aquati motanibi. And yes, preserve of a scaffold kwamba. In any case, even about and sorry. And I said these days it's only be about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions. Adena they want to maximize the use of the infrastructure. The always see yes, or not said the Norcan project management is good, so by identify some of the project difficulties and other challenges. Almost not doing no yet, almost say, I'll see didn't can see infrastructure in a year. Did I say that? Along the way. Conform and fall along the way. None of the rich but none follow away. Kokopian Koran follow out. No. So, yes, you have been say, yes, it's good to say you be increased infrastructure. However, the OCC
double track.
Double track. US, even those who have. Most of these universities in US only need 3 streams admission for the same year. Moko first, second, maybe what 3rd semester and amount for off track. Now okay, another batch, another batch,
so you better talk conversation with my
system number. Na makwenya, mankorano do na e school now. Instead of unlike one more time, even the so-called progressive they were not paying.
Yes, let's see. I mean, so President John Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Gradually relaxation at the mind. And the churches, depending on your size, about 2 hours. Size in the a number will be a good, but dependent on your size, the size of the church. No one will call between social distancing, other protocols. The commercial vehicles when they are back to business, full a passenger load to say, and also open space bars. No, maybe I'm not going to operate. Beaches, pubs, no. Mosque, churches, and then open space bars, and the vehicles. Maybe I'm not going. Was it that encouraging? Are we there?
Yeah, because before we are going, I'm in the Central region. And before the introduction of the senior high school, there were many senior high schools in the Central region. Just as it. So it does not lie in his mouth to say that.
Including the one I made me establish with me.
Yeah, that was very good. Who's in the way?
I am free senior.
I am free senior school, yes.
The first free secondary school.
You did very well.
That's what
you did very well. Okay. You understand? So you didn't do that because of free senior high school. Did you do that?
We started free secondary school.
But before the government policy.
Yes,
so what I want to put
what
I want to put it to you is it should not lie in your mouth. Is that before the free senior high school, nobody was going to school.
No,
it has increased
about 500,000 children.
About 500,000.
We're dropping off.
Okay, now I would want a good day with you to discuss these issues and their problems
on the features.
Okay. Now,
Dr. Duchum.
I would love to do that with him.
Minister, Education.
I would love to do that with him.
He's in charge of
I would love to do that with him. I also have the facts.
Yes.
I did social policy at India for my doctorate. I also have the facts of all our education intake from 1957. All right? To date. I have it. Enrollment by boys, by girls. I have the enrollment and then result from 57 to date. I have it.
So Monday we can do that discussion.
We can. I'm prepared for that. You know, I think as a Ghanaian.
So no, because on one statistics here, okay, almost 10 BI in the West, you people were in charge.
I'm sad you are impugning my integrity.
No, we can't buy. No. I'll never do that.
I'm saying that bring Dr. Juchum on board. I'll be here. No, because I'm a member there. Now what do you say? What's my member?
Oh, so what you say? I don't know possible. But what I'm saying is, records now we can anchor. So it shows every time the education standards they come from Bia, and I'm in charge.
My goodness.
Oh yes.
Take the WASI results for the past from 2012 to date. Check the WASI result. Oh, check it. My producers check it. WASI. Don't throw this.
Oh, I'm not trading here. It's a fact.
Ben, mommy date. Mommy data. Not pass mark net here. What we are talking about.
The man
you know, I don't come here to do
because Kufuor 4 years now, I'm down in 3 years. Okay, results are not achieve.
But that was as a result of Kwanya Faswa.
You and I should be very worried. Say, as a country, we've been experimenting too far with education.
Someone interested in education. And this, yes, it's a fact. More records no support to education.
Okay, so
I don't say I was so because of time. Also, we don't believe in the intellectuals. Now we believe in the macro.
No, men twisted. No, contest. No, the cars. Yajina no esiboni. John Dumelo Asmaga. Oh, he was talking in a different context.
I am not only talking about whether I'm not talking. I'm not talking about whether
is grassroots oriented.
No, veranda boys and girls. Veranda boys and girls.
Who must be
empowered? Their children are not on the veranda.
The grassroots who must be
empowered. Their children are not on the veranda. And yet they believe someone from us should be on the veranda.
So we remove the veranda boys schools and the trees and put them into classrooms. We remove children and the trees and put them into classrooms. And then Ben.
And then Ben from school down.
School Ben hey, school Ben as we speak now.
No, there are a lot of
apart from I am free school.
But for the records,
school Ben.
There are schools who are starting from scratch.
Anyway, this conversation
have prepare.
Yes, we have to
so that we can.
Yes, but don't ever say yedi
what I say.
Me, concept is I am educated as you are. And I can run NPP and NDC people pari passu, and you can see where the scale will tilt.
In terms of?
In terms of academics, qualifications, whatever. I can do a table of your ministers from Kufuor. I can do a table from President to date. Now, we know where the scale will tilt as a quality of education of our members. So don't say we believe.
Don't go there. They don't go there.
We believe.
They don't go there. Apart from some mobile, that's not even the issue in America. In America, the issue of as a policy, say we believe in education. Now, because more in veranda boys and girls.
Yes,
concept. Because among formers should not go to school. No more you see homo as veranda boys and girls. That's the point I'm making.
Is that your case?
Yes, that's what they believe in.
Yes, school die. You're removing
school die because you are.
You're removing
43 E blocks no. And now person
but they've done something.
Yes, they have.
43.
But in 43, we have to move from within 3 years.
With your one district, one factory, you said 80 factories, is that correct?
Completed.
But
completed. About 80 completed and running.
Right.
But 100 and something are different stages.
I'm not your production manager, okay? But these days, so we invite me, we invite Bernard. Let us come with data and statistics.
Oh, so data the upper 18 na make you natural. So we just can I mean let's say 18 na amount is here.
Okay, but let's wrap up because
my dean, listen. My dean,
if central if you say so to tackle about 2 or 3 main road in Kwaso.
Who say I am building factories. One, that's industrialization. The other mode of doing that, supporting in the industries. But when you do that, and you say, for example, we have supported Adom, you must tell me, the taxpayer, how much money I have put into Asampa. Not so.
Yeah.
What is my return of interest on the company, in the return of investment on the company? Not so. Who are the shareholders? Is it generating the number of employment I like? These are the analysis we should be doing. Okay, so for example, if you told me that you have established NAPCO and I employed about 100,000, that's very good. But beyond that, who is sponsoring a NAPCO project? What does NAPCO contribute to the national economy? Are they paying social security? Are they paying income tax? Because social security generates revenue for mobilization. So what I say? You mobilize social security
okay.
You mobilize income taxes or minor. So
you know that you could see Commander Sugar Factory. Now I need you for even 2 hours. Now the Koshe Green Book me say Antonio Mfrewa amount for 2 abaditi out.
The person who
keep coast the person who
has taken the decision not to open the Commander Sugar Factory
potato a year
Commander Sugar Factory for another matter altogether. Another matter before his watch.
The person,
the
person who said there was fraud in the Commander Sugar Factory and has not opened it now should be arrested. Should listen to me.
Commander Sugar Factory was
Commander Sugar Factory was finished on the twilight of NDC's government. So what?
And so-called test run, we are shutting it down, which is a fact.
So the person who has not allowed
Ghana be who sugar back, who cry sugar back.
Fred Captain Smart.
He's the only person who claims to have seen sugar.
I carry 10 bags of sugar.
The money film fee, you could go market. I didn't wait for the market.
I am telling you sugar to be a small point. When you finish installation of a factory and you do a test run, the whole world, then you shut down and look at all the problems machine generating.
We test run for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, or 48 minutes.
We test run for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
but I'm saying that the person
sugar who has test run, sugar motor and amode ko.
One is your way. One